If this was a hoax, it was a good one, which means it would have to have been well executed. So, what are the options? Well, in option 1, both Roger and Bob are innocent. They were hoaxed by a separate party in a suit. Frankly, it's unlikely. How could the hoaxer be sure of meeting them out there in the wilderness and also guarantee not to get shot? Both men were armed, and remember, only a body will ever satisfy science. Option 2. Roger and Bob could have set the whole thing up themselves, built the suit, the lot. Well, Roger was a pretty resourceful guy. He could turn his hand to quite a few things, and so could Bob. But that suit is too good. It's not an amateur effort, more likely the product of a professional special effects designer. Option 3 has a third man involved, someone who employed Roger to film the creature, use a part-exposed roll of film, and bring Bob along as an essential second witness. It would easily have been worth their while. After the film was shown, a TV company in Los Angeles offered Patterson $50,000. A modern equivalent would stand closer to $250,000. So this option has Roger leading on an innocent Bob, and Roger was firmly in control. They'd even conspicuously agreed not to shoot at the creature unless it turned and attacked. Bob Gimlin doesn't talk Bigfoot anymore these days, but in 1992 he spoke on tape to John Green.
This particular day that we got the film footage, starting out early in the morning. I left early in the morning, and of course Roger slept in, and my horse loosened a shoe up, so I come back in to tack the shoe on tighter, and Roger was gone when I got back, and after a while...
So, Roger and Bob were apart on the morning before the film was made.
I had covered that morning, and I told him. He said, well, why don't we ride up in this area that we had ridden in?
And then Roger led Bob right to the spot. It's a suspicious detail, but Bob still maintained that what he saw was an animal. He hasn't spoken to the media for 13 years, but he is the crucial eyewitness.
Hello?
Hi, Bob. This is Chris Packham, and I work for the BBC Natural History Unit in Bristol, England. At the moment, we're making... Surprisingly, Bob was quite approachable, happy to tell his story.
When I first saw this thing, well, it was just like the adrenaline flew, you know. I mean, I was shocked, excited, just like golly, then they do exist, you know.
It was a fascinating call, but there was one big question. Do you still think that what you saw was an animal?
Well, I've thought about this many, many times over the years. At one time in my life, right shortly after the film footage, I was totally convinced that no one could fool me. And, of course, I'm an older man now, and I see a lot of things, and I think there could have been a possibility. But it would have had to have been really well planned by Roger, and I feel that they would have had to have been very, very careful, because I had a .30-06 loaded with 180 grain bullets. And had that thing have turned and rushed me, I would have shot it. So I feel that if that was a hoax, somebody was taking an awful big chance with their life.
So maybe that's the answer to why the creature just walked away. Maybe it was a brilliant idea casting Bob as a perfectly innocent eyewitness. There's one thing left to do. Look for the third man. First stop, that suit. In Burbank, California, Optic Nerve Studios specialize in building fantastical animals around actors, with astonishing results. It's run by John Bulich.
In my mind, it's undoubtedly a suit. It has all the earmarks of being a guy in a suit.
And could a suit of this quality have been made then, and if so, by whom?
There's been rumors in the industry for years that John Chambers, who had built the suits for Planet of the Apes, and in fact was doing Planet of the Apes at the time that this footage was shot, had built the suit. None of it's been substantiated, but it's been rumors that have been persistent for years.
So if the suit was off the peg and the movement's not so strange after all, let's get the camera Patterson used, find an amateur operator and recreate exactly to the inch the action at Bluff Creek. This is our creature's starting point. All we've got to do is measure out 112 feet down here to where it's found on the first frame. Action! The first important revelation of this precise reenactment is quite how close Roger and Bob were to the creature. They were right on top of it. Its behaviour wasn't unnatural, just walking away unconcerned. It was implausible. So, did you get it?
Yeah, I reckon I did.
Secondly, this is what we shot. At this distance, with this lens, you're certain to get the creature in the frame, unless you artificially shake the camera. Even so, it's difficult to see much detail in the suit, which is ideal. The whole thing, the location, the suit, the camera work, all gel into a beautifully crafted whole. There are loads of trendy, wobbly camera commercials in fashion now, but they always have an image that sells the product, like frame 352, the look back. I'm Bigfoot, buy me, and millions of people have. There's a hell of a lot of space in America, but it's trampled all over. And in biological terms, there is absolutely no chance at all that there's an unknown species of giant ape stalking around California, or for that matter, Canada. You see, the Bigfoot phenomenon isn't based on good science. It rests upon one thing, the Patterson film, and that is a hoax. We've shown you just how easily it could have been done, and now Bob Gimlin has broken his silence and confessed that he's not entirely sure about what he saw in the first place. And to me, that is incredibly significant, because it's his word that has helped keep this hoax alive for more than 30 years. But now it's over. Bigfoot isn't dead, because it was never alive, only in the minds of the dreamers and the schemers. But then, good on them. You know, if Roger Patterson were here today, I'd shake him by the hand. I'm not saying I'd load his camera, but I'd shake him by the hand.